Oh, I'm live. This is cool. This is my first Facebook Live. I guess I shouldn't be trying to put on my shoes while I'm doing this. So I can't see what's going on. But anyway, I know I'll be recording and then it will stay on the site. So welcome, whoever watches this. I'm so used to Periscope. But I guess I can get used to this too. Well, thanks for stopping by. So this is my first Facebook Live, and I have one, oh, I have a little eye there, so that means someone's watching. Cool. I can get used to this, and then they're gone just as quick as that. And then they're back. Anyway, hey guys, this is my first Facebook Live. So, and I thought that I would use this opportunity to talk about something that's really been like nagging at me. And I'd love to hear your comments and feedback about this, about missed opportunities. I was attending a networking event and, oh, hey, Marty, I see, yeah, the name showed up. Cool. Thanks for watching my first Facebook Live. So I thought I'd test it out this morning and share something that's been on my mind for a couple of days now. I went to a networking event earlier this week, and it was a professional setting, of course. And we were having a conversation about a little bit of politics, social issues, that sort of thing. And one of the women in the group started to talk about people on welfare. We were talking about the privilege to vote, and she was talking about in her country how it's mandatory to vote, that you go to jail if you don't vote. And I found that very interesting. But she also said that it had like over 30 different political parties, and that one of the big things that they talk about is the whole welfare system in their country. Well, that's a big discussion here. And as she started to talk about this, she talked about this woman that she was in the line with at the grocery store, and how this woman had purchased all these different gourmet cheeses and organic eggs and all this nice stuff, and she was using food stamps. She was appalled at the idea of that. Thank you, Josephine. She was appalled at the idea of this, and I thought, wow. And she said, I worked so hard, and to see her come there and her, and she had this nice purse and she's buying these gourmet cheeses and all of this. And she was really angry. And this was the thing that really drove her, this influenced her on how she felt about welfare and welfare recipients. Now, I sat there and I listened, and as I was listening, something was like stirring up in me that I wanted to say something. And I wanted to raise my hand and say, hey, I was a welfare recipient. I was on food stamps. I know what that feels like. I want to buy healthy and good food. I mean, what's wrong with that? And I didn't say anything. And I sat there in this circle while everyone was making judgments and these opinions about people who are welfare recipients. And it really got me to thinking. Now, one, I was upset with myself because I didn't speak up and say something. And say, we can't just look at one case where you're in a line in the grocery store and you see what someone purchases with food stamps and you make a judgment because of that. I think that's pretty small. But, the other thing was, why didn't I say something? Why didn't I speak up and maybe try to influence a little bit and change her thinking. And maybe not, it wouldn't have made a difference, but I felt like I could have been that voice in that particular moment to say something. And why this bothers me is because I see this happening so much, and I know you guys see this too. We're judging people and not knowing their story. We're judging people and not really knowing all the facts. And this happens too often. So, people would look at me, not really knowing me for the first time, and they may see, first of all, that I'm a woman. But most times, they don't. They see that I'm black, and then I'm a woman, right? And then they can base whatever they want, whatever stereotypes, whatever things that they have going on in their mind about black women, they can label that on me. And that's exactly what this woman was doing with welfare recipients. She was taking this one instance and framing this for everyone else. And this was the thing that would influence her stance on whether or not welfare was a good thing, a bad thing, or whatever. And I think we have it all wrong. I think that we look at people and we don't really see people. We don't see each other. We're quick to put a label and stamp a label on people and opinions about people based on one experience or things that we've seen on television or something like that. And we can't do that. And then we base everything else that we do and decisions that we make about these people on that experience. But I think, for me, it was about the missed opportunities. And I wonder how many times and how often we've had opportunities where we could be a voice for something, where we could speak up and we don't. What is it that prevents us from really speaking our truth about something and standing up for issues or for people who can't? So I want you to think about that. Think about the missed opportunities that you might have had in conversations. What is the fear? As I sort of self-reflect on it, because I really wanted to sit down and say, Marjorie, you speak about social issues. You speak about domestic abuse. These are things that are important to you, and you're not afraid to stand in front of a crowd and share your story and some of your tough times. Why couldn't you do this in this group? And I think a part of the hesitancy for me, honestly, if I want to be vulnerable here, is I didn't want to say in that conversation, really, I was on welfare and I was homeless. Even though that was stirring up in me, I didn't want to say that, but I was in conflict because deep down inside I wanted to. And it's things like that we have to ask ourselves sometimes. Why don't we speak up when we want to with these missed opportunities that happens? That's right, making ourselves vulnerable in fear of rejection. And I don't even know if it was rejection so much as the vulnerability, But that is my truth. That is my truth. And though I can't speak for everyone else who's ever been on welfare, who's on welfare and all of these things, I can't speak for them, but I can say, look, just as someone who's been there, let me just tell you what this might look like. And it was the same thing with the conversation we had about homeless people and how there are some homeless people that it seems like they want to be homeless. Well, being homeless, after a while, it has an effect on someone's psyche. It's almost like someone who's been an alcoholic for years. It's someone who's been in domestic abuse. It's something that has become a part of them. And it's not just something you think that you can throw money at or just say, let me get you a job and find you a roof over your head, and you think it's going to end there. It doesn't. It goes a lot deeper than that. And so a lot of this stuff we don't know. And because of that and our lack of knowledge and not really knowing the full story of all of this, then we go ahead and we make judgments on how we think people should behave and how they should act. Now, I just want to close with this. Yeah, that was a missed opportunity for me at that moment, but I figured, let me use this opportunity to talk about that issue. These sorts of things happen all the time, and we're looking, and welfare is a big issue in this country. Entitlements are a big issue, and we need to look at that. But I think, too, that we miss the point that we really need to look at people, and it starts with people. And we really need to look at people's lives and how things that are happening are affecting their lives. And how can we help people live better quality of lives? And that is really where the root of the problem is. What's going on in these people's lives? So anyway, that's me taking this opportunity to share what was on my mind about that. And I kind of like this because you guys can, leave comments, and this will stay up on Facebook for a while, so I may use this more often. So thanks for hopping on and listening to me, and share it with, your friends if you think it's beneficial in some way, okay? Thanks for all your support. Thanks, Marty. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.